Things that you guys should know about the hotwire. One, it's used by all the design teams, so if you break it,
I'm gonna pay for it.
Basically, I don't know, just be really careful with it, because when you're cutting, this wire gets really hot, and I've touched it a few times myself, and it's not fun. But when it cuts through the foam, it kind of creates fumes. I would maybe leave the door open, or just try not to put your face right next to the block. And this vacuum is set up right now so that it sucks down through all these holes, and it'll hold the foam to its place. And if you don't like that, then I normally just use weights over here to hold the foam down. So depending on your entry length that you specified in the program for DIY RC wings, you want to set your block that far away, and you always want to have a little bit so that when it starts cutting, it goes into the foam before it cuts the leading edge. You don't want it to start cutting the leading edge right here. So I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot what I set that to. So I'm gonna set it to pretty close. And from there, you wanna have your power source and just set up the hot terminal and the negative terminal to either side of the wire. If you put it on the back or over here, odds are this wire is not going to get that hot. Yeah. And then whenever you're ready to cut, you want to turn the power source on. And the amperage, if you're not aware, is what controls the heat. So it's at 18 volts and 2 amps right now, and you can see that it's currently voltage limited. So these lights, CC and CV, specify which one's limited. So I found, at least with my power source, because I've never used this one, that 1 amp is pretty decent. I think I'll see how 2 amps does, but depending on, it's really just a play. You have to get used to it, because if you have 1 amp and you're moving slow, you'll get a nice cut. If you have 2 amps and you're moving a little faster, you'll get a nice cut. So I use 1 amp and I move slow. So I'm probably gonna turn this down. Yeah, and then this cable right here, you just connect to your USB port, open Gerbil, and then you'll see that on the comms, you can connect to COM 3 and connect, and you'll hear a little startup. I don't know if you heard that. If not, it just beeps. And then you unlock and reset. And essentially, when you look at this user interface, it's kind of confusing, maybe, but this just specifies where you are. I'm going to zero this. So this U axis, X and U, are basically the direction going away from you, and Y and Z are up. So this is Y, that's Z, this is X, and that's U. So I'm going to zero this, the U axis, because it was being funky and saying we were at -28. And then you could jog both carriages by going up with your feed rate and distance set. So this is all in millimeters. I have everything set to metric in here. But if I wanted to go up an inch, you can see that it starts going. And I'm gonna make a small cut just to see how the settings, the voltage settings are. And this is kind of called a guillotine cut, because I think you can figure that out. And that arrow was just thrown because it couldn't find my G code.
So would you press to get it to just start going down?
Go to 0 all.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm looking for right now is any bend in the wire. If the wire is bending in any direction, then it's not hot enough or it's going too fast. But it looks like it's fine. It might be,
Look how it's bending.
might be a little bit cold. So once that's cut, we'll set it up again for the wing cut, upload the G code, and then cut the wing. So you kind of want the block to be as straight as possible. That's why whenever I'm doing a regular wing cut for anything, I always make it square. You don't have to if you don't want to, but at the very least, make this edge square with this side.
Do we
Because
need
it's
to leave that door open?
Yeah, you can.
I don't want anybody get poisoned.
So yeah, because this is a tutorial, I'm not going to get the calipers out. But yeah, from here we go to this little paper on Gerbil, just the file upload, and then we'll upload the file. I'm not going to use this one because it's got a spar hole, so I'm actually going to change this really quickly. And then you push play, and there's a couple things you want to watch for while it's cutting the wing. The main thing is any voltage drop, because these cuts take, especially for bigger wings, they take a long time, like anywhere from, I don't know, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, if you lose current or voltage during that, the entire foam that you've just spent making sure it was all good and cutting is pretty much smoked. And then the other thing you want to watch for is a wire like this, or the wire itself getting caught on something and then skipping. But besides that, this is just the most boring part.